the last time I didn't start it early, it didn't seem to work out so great. So I'm doing this a little bit early this time, and I want to just make sure that the previous premiere is completely ended, and I believe it has. So I want to thank you guys for watching that, and remind you, hey, how you doing? It's your buddy Mike's, and I'm over here on Live My Ass Off. I'm also on the Spot.fm, or rather, the Spot Thailand, and so that's been pretty cool. I'm still doing that. I'm still doing Live My Ass Off .fm, and I'm testing out a whole bunch of stuff as I always normally do too. Because if you don't know, Chris and I actually are going to be going live here come, or rather, the Spot Thailand. There so that's been pretty cool. All right, let me just pause this. I don't think you could hear that in the background anyway. But welcome to a, let's see, what do we have today? Today's a Saturday, right? So 8:15 a.m. here, Bangkok time. And glad to have you guys along for the ride. My name is Mike's, and I just happen to be with a channel called LiveMyAssOff.com. But I also own a radio station here in JOMTIEN in Pattaya, and I know it's not in sync. Very bizarre, right? I don't know why. Actually, I don't particularly know how to get it in sync. The only thing I can say is that if I put my mouth behind the microphone, then maybe you won't notice as bad. So anyway, so I'm live, and I'm live on a bunch of channels, and thank 9 of you for watching. I appreciate it. I'm not quite certain. The other thing that I'm doing, actually, is I'm trying out this really cool new mixer that I bought. That might be causing some of the delay. I'm not quite sure. It is this one right here that I will show you. It's called the Mackie DLZ, and the DLZ creator, and it is basically what's being heralded as the replacement for the Rode Procaster 2, which is obviously a very sort of default awesome mixer kind of thing. And so I'm trying it out, and so I have a couple of features in it that I'm trying out, and that's sort of part of this too. It's actually, so 8:15, I'm actually going to be out of here in about 45 minutes. I got to go pick up a rental car, which I get for a month, and then tomorrow I pick up Reese and Gracie up in Bangkok. We go get our teeth cleaned. I know that'll be very exciting. I will likely not be live streaming that. I know, you guys are bummed. But the good news is that I'm here in JOMTIEN right now, and if you'd like to see what I'm looking out at, well, hey, check that out. That just is basically the... that's the jet ski competition. So you can see basically a portion of it to the left. They're not racing at the moment, so you can't see them doing anything. But that's pretty much that's just simply the view from our balcony up here. And that plus a very comfortable bed that's behind me, and a little kitchen and a really awesome bathroom is basically what I get for $407 US a month. And I couldn't be happier. It's actually quite nice, and that view right there is Gracie and I sit up there on the balcony, and we look at that in the morning and have coffee, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually more than okay with that, and it's been a really neat place to live. I've actually lived here in several sort of occasions, if you will, in the sense that I have. I've stayed here at an Airbnb for 1 week or 2 weeks, and then I've actually come down here. I was here for a month over the summer, and oh, so it's in sync now? All right, well, then I tell you what, then I'm going to keep my mouth above the microphone and pray that it's, that it's actually in sync here, and by doing so, with any luck, I will be able to sort of verify that my microphone and therefore my mixer are congruent in basically providing me with a solution. I don't know if I can move these too well. It looks like I can. So what I'm going to do is, so yeah, it seems like it's in sync right now. I don't know why it wasn't in sync. I will tell you that I do have fiber in my condo. However, I'm connected to the fiber with Wi-Fi. So a lot of you guys will be like, well, duh, Mike, there you go. So I definitely want to say hi to a bunch of you guys. Kazi, thank you so much for coming by. Well-rounded, we all know and love, of course, is Joe from Florida. Good to see you, my friend. Mariano is likely downstairs. He's about 17 floors below me. And he also lives up here on the same floor that I do, and he gets a very similar view to this from his place, which is really nice. I'm using the I'm just using like a $2 Logitech microphone. $2 Logitech Yeah, for In Sync, exactly. Bye was probably what you were thinking. Sorry, Mike, it's not In Sync. Bye. And so thank you, Logan. Thank you for coming by. I really appreciate it. Chris, my brother, I adore you, like, big time. It shouldn't, but the Mackie is warmer. Yeah, I will. Okay, so to be fair, that's another thing, actually, I'm going to need you to help me with, because, again, the $8 microphone, I'm not expecting much. It's a condenser microphone. It's okay. But I'm having a real hard time setting the de-esser. And so, like, if you hear me now and then you hear me stop talking, you can hear how there's a gate. It's not a brick wall, but it's a gate. And so, therefore, it kind of gets rid of a lot of the wind noise simply because I have to have the air. I don't have to, but I choose to have the air conditioner on. Of course, the window's wide open and the fan on me. And so, therefore, there's a lot of white noise that shows up. I am eating out Pattaya. Greetings from Argentina, my friend, on a boat. What does it cost in data on a cruise ship to be able to stream a YouTube channel of this high quality? That's always been my question. Will you slap the thumbs up, smash the thumbs up, smash the likes, for God's sake? My ego is fragile. I don't know if I can handle it without that much praise. Ooh. Long time no see, Chris. Indeed, yeah. So, Ryan, I know you're back probably in January, right? I don't know if you'll be back for the mighty New Year's Eve live stream that Chris and I are doing. Plug. We're gonna have to like set up we're gonna have to do like a thumbnail or something like that and totally let people know about it. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, sounds fine, warmer, all good. Wasn't a sync problem. You had another feed we could hear. Really? That pisses me off because I had it going through the channel that's set up for mix minus. How did I possibly do that? Oh, dude, you're bumming me out. All right, well, thank you for letting me know that. I'll have to fix that definitely before New Year's Eve, dude. It's not just a little hazy today, it's crazy hazy today. And this, for example, in the distance on that shot right there, you should be able to see Koh Larn, and you can't. It is a fast gate, but no snapshot. Yeah, I tried to basically, I have the decay basically set at, so it holds it for 30 milliseconds and it releases at 225 milliseconds. So, yeah, it's a little fast, but I don't know. I'm just kind of messing with it. And so, like, as you guys know, I like to test stuff like that. And thank you very much. I appreciate it, Joe. I hope it does sound good from where you are. $3 a day, but the bandwidth is terrible. Yeah, well, shoot. I mean, as long as you can watch this. I only stream in 720, so as long as you can see that, that's pretty good. 12 of you watching. Thank you so much. A little bit before about 8:20 here in JOMTIEN Beach, looking exactly at what we're looking at right now. Glad to have you guys along for the ride. Please let me know where you're watching. I am, in fact, streaming on a couple of things. I was going to also stream on Instagram, and I may still do that, actually, if for no other reason than I really want you guys to I want you to subscribe to our Instagram channel of The Spot Thailand. So basically all of our, okay, dude, seriously, hold on. Wait, we gotta talk tech, I think, here. The RTX will solve the aircon issue. Oh, yeah, I know. So, Logan, thank you. So what are you referring to? Sorry, hold on. Here's what I really want to make sure that I acknowledge. Super chat of $5, smoothie money for your trip to get your beautiful wife and daughter. Thank you very much, Joe. That'll be very, very helpful. And and hold on, let me make sure you can fully see my gratitude that I'm about to send your way, buddy. There we go. That's a lot better, isn't it? There we go. Kapkun my kap, Joe. Thank you very much, sir. I really appreciate it. That's awesome. Yeah, so tomorrow I head up there, and the way it's working is that I'm heading up there tomorrow, basically midday. We have a hotel similar, literally right across the street from where Gracie and I used to live, in near Sukhumvit 101, near True Digital Park, near Punawiti, if you know the BTS stations. And I'm going to go get my teeth cleaned because our dentist is like right down there, and then I'm going to pick up Gracie and Euryce at the airport about 9 p.m., probably 10 p.m., because I think the flight lands at 9, and AirAsia is totally incompetent, and so therefore they're not going to be able to get there on time, nor are they going to be able to get the people out of the plane with any degree of sophistication, and then they'll have to wait in the line for immigration, which I will be very interested to hear how long that takes, how many people are there, that sort of thing. Gracie, because of the visa that she and I have, we both have 2-year business visas, basically, a B visa. She's got a B visa that is. I can't remember the label that they give it, but basically she's not my dependent, but she's my wife, right? So therefore she gets a B visa because I have a B visa. And with those types of B visas, we're allowed to go through the priority lane, which effectively gets you through. Usually there's no more than like about 3 people in front of you. However, Eurice doesn't have that. She's basically just, Gracie's going to stamp in until September of 2024. And so Eurice will stamp in for 30 days. So that's interesting. I can't remember. Is it back to 30 days for most people? Certainly someone with a Philippine passport. Or is it 45 days? I don't think it's 45 days any longer. It moved to 90 days visa on arrival for what? The Chinese and the Russians? Is that true? I can't really remember. Not that because I don't pay attention to the news, because it's not usually good news. Anyway, Joe, thank you very much for the super chat, dude. I really appreciate that. So what was funny is I was like on YouTube Studio, right, and trying to be like, okay, so like, I'm just out of curiosity, like how are my videos doing? Well, then it reports to you like how much money you have, right? And I think it said that like my estimated earnings are going to be like $4.13. So thanks a lot, dude. I'm almost now close to $10. Well, sorry. So my earnings now are only going to be like $7, because I think of $5, I think YouTube takes 2. But to be fair, it also provides me with a 100% uptime global unlimited space, unlimited bandwidth video streaming service that has yet to fail on me. Every time something's failed, it's been me and my internet. So one could argue that for $0 a month, that's actually a pretty goddamn good service. Buffering really bad. My connection sucks. Take care, everyone. See you when I return. Mike's good to see you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Ryan. Ryan's a great guy, man, and it's been really neat getting to know him as well as hearing his stories about his travels, right? Because I mean, that's a lot of why we sort of watch these types of channels, right? Because it's just like, oh yeah, he's traveling all over the place. I hope he changes something, because Eat Out Pattaya, I mean, certainly had a finite life, right? I mean, he like ate at a bunch of places, and then it's like, well, I'm not eating anymore. Now I'm like traveling more than anything else. What car did I end up with? Thanks for asking, Logan. So at the end of the day, I don't know exactly what version of the vehicle I'm getting. I know I'm getting like a compact thingy. I used to have a Mazda 2 4-door like hatchback thingy, and that was fine. And plus, it got great fuel economy, so that was stellar. But I rented from Thai Rent-A-Car, which is, if you've ever seen their logo, they're usually in the airports. Like they're basically right next to. I mean, there's Avis and usually where I rent, which is Hertz, Thrifty, and that sort of thing, budget. But what's interesting about Thai Rent-A-Car is I've gone through several places to find out, like, how people like, and they always have like a 9 out of 10 rating, basically a rating that's quite similar to Hertz. And so I was able to get a car for 14,000 baht a month. Well, just basically 15,000. Because there was like some taxes and stuff. So I think it ended up being like 14,540 or something. And it was one of those deals where you book it on the website, and if you book it on the website, use a credit card, then you get a cheaper price. Buy now versus buy later when I get there. And I think when I get there, I'm going to do the standard 5,000 baht deposit or whatever on a credit card, and then I should be good. But yeah, for a month, I think that's a pretty good deal. The way that I sort of justify that is when I was taking bolts around here regularly, I was spending basically almost 600 baht a day just on bolts. And then, of course, I do that, and then I still don't have a car. Whereas here, I can drive it all around. Plus, I'm going to be going up to Bangkok and then driving around and then over to the airport, back to the airport, and then driving back down. At the end of the day, after all that, if I were to do that on Bolt, I'd be looking at like 4,000 or 5,000 baht. And that would only allow me to cruise around for like the 2 days that I'm doing it. And so that's, it's a pretty easy financial thing. I would rather not pay 20,000 baht, but I also understand that it's, it's going to be, it is high season, which actually I want to talk about that a little bit. But to answer your question, I believe I'm getting something like a Toyota Yaris, and I won't know till probably. So it's 8:30 right now. I'm going to bail in about 30 minutes, guys. And so I do want to talk about some really cool stuff, not the least of which is the amount of appreciation I have for you guys coming by the channel, which is really awesome. I appreciate the 10 or 11 people that are watching right now on the various platforms. Yeah, so I'm going to get that. I'm going to leave here about 9 o'clock. I'll just clean up around here, and then 9:30 I'm going to grab a bot bus. Thai Rent-A-Car, their office is over off of Second Road. If you guys know where the Alcazar Theater thingy is, I think that's like Soy 5, basically Soy 5 and Second Road, Pattaya. I got to walk about 5 minutes behind that facility, and that's where their rental car place is. And so I'm hoping that I get a decent car. The thing I like about these places that have been around a while, especially now that like after COVID and they pretty much got rid of all their inventory and then now they're redoing it. And most of these places that have some degree of like franchise model, ideally they're doing a lease thing with the cars. Some people buy them and they buy new and then they sell. The last place that I rented from, Expat Car Rent, which I actually thought provided me with a fine car. And, I mean, their sales tactics and the way that they interface with people is less than great customer service as far as I'm concerned. But nonetheless, they gave me a car for a decent price. And when I got there, they looked at the car. It took them like about 25 seconds. And then they're like, okay, yeah, it's a dirty car, so we're just going to wash it. You didn't damage it. And they gave me back my 5,000 baht cash, which actually was really nice because I put the 5,000 baht on a credit card. And so, but I've been there 2 months. So I guess what happens is eventually it like charges the credit card. I guess it's not just one of those like holds. So anyway, so they gave me 5,000 baht cash back, which was good because if you guys know my saga of losing my wallet, one of the credit cards that was in there was the one that I gave them the 5,000 baht deposit on. So I don't know whether like if you lose your credit card and then they give you a new account number, if credits back to that account number actually go in, or whether they tried to charge and said, no, it's not possible, much like if you were to charge something to it, it wouldn't work. So anyway, I will let you guys know about the car. And let's see. So Russian and Kazakhstan, they're getting the 45 days. Yeah, YouTube takes 30%. So, okay, so basically I end up with 350 out of Joe's 5. And I got to tell you, as you guys know, 350, that's probably about 3 smoothies. So that's pretty awesome. Richard, good to see you. Thank you for coming by, man. I appreciate it. Always good to see your face there. 9 of you watching. Thank you so much. I do realize that actually, I didn't really sort of think about this because I've been friggin' sick, so I haven't been able to make like clear thoughts. Don't you guys hate when that happens? So yesterday, I spent the majority of the day in bed, and oh man, here's why I hate being sick, because I can't do stuff. Like I was down at the beach, at the amazing beach, and actually I got a really cool video that's gonna come out tomorrow morning. I'm gonna do the same thing as I did this morning. I kind of like this paradigm. So there's gonna be a premiere that starts tomorrow morning, 7:30 Thailand time. And then it's about a 40-minute video, walk and talk. And I think, again, the guys that are on this channel that want to be on this channel, yeah, because I putting a gun to your head for you guys to watch my content. But the ones that are here that want to be here, then basically you'll be more than okay with my walk and talk. And I'll just give you a tease. It's actually my first ever walk and swim, so that's going to be kind of fun. But I think that's going to be kind of something that I do. So basically, I go out, do some video, bring it back, throw it together pretty much fairly quickly, put maybe some cute stuff in it, cut out some stuff that's lame, and then do a premiere and then do a live stream immediately after. I don't know whether that's like working out so good. In my mind, right, you'd go to one channel, and then all you got to do is watch the thing, and then immediately when the premiere is done, then it flips over to the live stream. But I think the only thing that happens is that basically when the premiere is over, then it just puts up a box and says, oh, if you click here, you can go to the next video. Well, to be fair, it puts up other stuff there too. So it's kind of like, oh, why do I have to do, I don't know. I just find it, it's kind of cute and it's neat and everything. But I mean, as you might guess, I really kind of like doing the live stream thing, especially with you guys and interacting. And that's like, I really, really appreciate it. And I really, really, really love Gracie. Honey, did you hear all of the amazing things that I said about our epic marriage when I did the premiere just now? I'll repeat them the next time I see you, I promise. So yeah, so Russian and Kazakhstan for 90 days. That's interesting. I don't know why they did that. Farang's required to have residency in order to apply for a motorbike license. So let's see. Every time I've gone for licenses, driving licenses, car, motorbike, whatever, prior to that, I've had to go to immigration and get proof of residency, residency certificate, that sort of thing. When I recently, as I said, lost my wallet, Gracie and I had to go to immigration, and I had to get basically proof of residency, and that was pretty easy, really. All it was me writing down where I was. That's interesting. Oh, I know what that is. Okay, so I thought, my God, is there an explosion? Okay, so down there where you guys are looking, they have jet skis. And some of these jet skis they have out of the water, and they have right below us at the at the hotel over there, and they like to rev the engines and test. And Mariano can absolutely, he could definitely relate to this. But because there's a gate on this, it all of a sudden sounds like whap, you know. But anyway, so you may hear some rustling in the background, and those are just, you know, guys who basically couldn't find girls in high school revving their engines, trying to be cool. And failing at it, in my opinion. So, yes, I believe it is a requirement. I can tell you that you probably can find a service that can do it without you having to do that, much like you can find a service to get you a retirement visa without actually having 800,000 Thai baht in a bank for more than 25 seconds. And it may not even have to be your 800,000 baht. But I will tell you that every time I've gotten a license, every time Gracie has gotten a license, which she did, and just so you know, for her, basically, there's no test either. So she needs to watch a video, much like I did, safety video, which actually has English subtitles, which is cool. Mine didn't have that when I watched mine. It was all in Thai, no subtitles. But the real easy thing, because she's part of the whole ASEAN, right, Association of Southeast Asian Nations, she comes in with her Philippine driver's license, and they basically give her a Thai driver's license. So it was actually pretty easy. It just takes some time. That's all. Have you thought about doing a Patreon or YouTube membership? Yeah, I mean, I've thought about it, but I mean, here's the thing, Kazi, rather. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that question. And one of the reasons that I turned on, what is it, like Super Chat and Super Stickers and stuff like that, was because, you know, I'm honored, because a lot of you guys, and again, this is like 4 years ago, right? So a lot of you guys were like, look, can we give you money on Super Chat? And I didn't have it turned on. And then, you know, and then we also celebrated the fact that I had 1,000 subs and like 4,000 watch hours or whatever, which was pretty easy at the time because I was doing these marathon live streams. But to answer your question, no, I don't. And I know that I can like turn on, you know, I can turn on the membership, right? But like, why here? And I don't mean this flippantly, but seriously, like, why should I do that? Because here's what I would really rather have than like $5 or $10 a month. I would prefer that we all get together somehow, and whether that's like a blog that we can do it asynchronously, or like we all get on a YouTube chat, or like a Google chat. What is that called? Google Meet or Zoom or whatever. And then we all talk about like what's relevant, like what should I? Let's say I'm producing and you guys are receiving. So what would you guys like want to see? Why would you depart with your money and give it to me for me to do something? And I know this may sound kind of flippant, but seriously, like, I really appreciate that. I mean, I love the fact that like I got a smoothie the other day, and I absolutely know that banana smoothie was basically paid for by Joe, and I really liked it. And there's a part of me that may be childish, but I swear to God it tastes better because Joe basically helped with the purchase of that smoothie, right? And it's indirect, of course. I mean, I'm actually not going to get that cash for like another 2 months because you got to get it to $100 before you can withdraw it. But I really want to know, like, should I do that? Should I throw in a membership for you guys to give me a certain amount of money every month? Or would you prefer to just keep that money, and then when you physically get over here, and there's enough of us over here, right? Like, so for right now, LC travels, right? So Logan's over here, I'm over here, Mariano's over here. Kazi, let's say for sake of argument, instead of doing that, you just come over here, you let us know when you're here, and you take us all out, and we all go buy rice and like have Cowpad Guy or something like that. Emotionally, that's what I would prefer. But anyway, yes, I've thought about it, but those are my thoughts on it. And so I'm more than willing to be convinced that it's something that I should do. But I would really struggle with adding value. Like, I mean, it might actually be the impetus for me to actually do more regular content, because I'm like, oh shoot, man, these guys are like, they're paying me this monthly thing, and you know, I mean, again, because it's not about the amount of money, it's the fact that you're allocating money to that. So, Kazi, I tell you what, I'm going to put my email address here in the in the chat, and I believe that means it will go to basically as many channels that I'm streaming on. And what I would love you to do is really send me an email, any of you guys that think that I should do that, or you're like, no, I don't think you should do any of that, Mike. You shouldn't do the Patreon or the YouTube membership. But here's what you should do: get rid of that stupid white microphone, for God's sake, because I'm totally racist. You should get a black microphone if you're going to commit to anything that you're going to put that close to your mouth. It should be big and black, or whatever. But I would really like to hear the suggestions that you guys have, because I've seen other Patreon pages, and I've seen other YouTube membership things, and a lot of times they rate the level of membership as the amount of input that you can give on a channel. And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, the payment you guys provide me is this sort of emotional comfort, you know, that like what I'm doing is correct, because I need to be checked on my motives sometimes. You know, that I'm not being selfish or self-centered or that sort of thing. Because if you don't know, you can remove the alcohol from an alcoholic, and I'm still selfish and self-centered. If you've ever read the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, you know that one of the very key phrases in there is that selfishness and self-centered is the key to all is the root of all our problems. Alcohol just happens to be the solution that we've chosen, and unfortunately, when we ingest it, we can't get rid of it because we're addicted to it, right? So, anyway, my point is that I would really love to hear from you guys. So, Mike's at thespot.fm. Is where I would really, really adore you guys to send me a message. And also, I will tell you this. Here's another way to get in touch with me instantaneously, is if you go to, and the only reason it's this way is just because I have it set up for the station. So if you go to the spot.fm, right, if you go to that website, whether you go to it on a mobile device or on a desktop device, the top sort of buttons or whatever up there are going to allow you to download the app. So if you're on a mobile device, download the app. If you're on like a tablet, you can download the app. You download the app. Why do you want to do that? Yes, you open it and you start listening to the spot.fm with music, or you can listen to bkk.fm. However, in doing so, there'll be a chat where you can push immediately, and you can contact me online through @thespot. If you're a line person, you can add that group. But I would love to hear your input, and you don't need to pay me for me to acknowledge you. But it's a very good question, because I mean, obviously it's something that's out there, right? And it's kind of like, you know, I don't know. I mean, I'm donating my time to this, but you know, there's 10 people watching, right? A little while ago there was like 18 people, and I'm not going to do 60% of a show, because we were now down to just like 10 people watching. So anyway, I would love to get your input on what you think I could be doing a little better. It does depend on whether you go through an agency or not. They can always, you know, I mean, for a certain, it's a kingdom, right? So he with the most money wins. So, I mean, you can always sort of, you know, get stuff done if you're doing that. But thank you for the recommendation on a thumbs up. Every time Mike says mixer, I think KitchenAid and then get hungry because you want a smoothie, Richard? Is that what it is? You want a smoothie in that thing? YouTube buffers, Facebook no problem. That's very interesting. I don't know whether that's because of her reception or whether that's because of my transmission. I will tell you that I use a piece of software that is in browser, and from there I basically just sort of check a box, and it allows me to send out to a whole bunch of channels. So I'm on like 3 Facebook pages, channels, whatever. I'm on 2 or 3 YouTube channels, bkk.fm, The Spot Thailand. I'm on The Spot Thailand on Facebook. I'm on my Facebook. And then, of course, I'm on Live My Ass Off, because, of course, if you're not living your ass off, well, then you're doing it wrong, my friends. But thank you, Ryan, for that update. Sorry, I thought that was Gracie saying that because I saw Facebook again. But, yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I would assume that's because Facebook is simply... it is that loud. Yeah, it really... it's... what do they have down there? 500cc two... Oh, I didn't read... That's right. I forgot that they're 2-stroke engines that they use in those things, right? Yeah, so they got to mix the gas and the oil, right? There's a thought. Jet ski live stream at speed, GoPro, and weatherproof phone bag. Yeah, I guess I could do that, right? So I have like really awesome Ziploc storage bags that are like the freezer kind that basically you can put water in and turn it upside down and squeeze it and the water still won't come out, from the infamous Ziploc brand. So they're like really good. So I do have those. I started carrying those around in Thailand ever since my first Songkran. But also, yeah, you're right. I could put a phone in there and then just basically do a... I will tell you, though, here's what I like about living up here as far as this jet ski competition goes. I've been down on the street, and I will tell you right now that I would much prefer... Because, okay, so the view you have with this camera is actually a little bit wider lens than my eyes, and so actually I can see with certainly more clarity, but I can also see it's sort of a tighter view. And so I can see the races that are happening out there a lot better from up here on the 19th floor than I can if I'm down there on the sand. And so in the far right of this picture, you can see there's like that straight white tent, okay? When that straight white tent ends, which is basically where the trees end, which is where the white sort of goes back towards the sidewalk, that is all tent, and there are stands there. And you can sit in those stands in the direct sun. And I mean, obviously, these other tents you could like, well, so the ones here on the left, they're basically just for like the teams. So the average person can't just like walk in there. Under that tent, by the way, that super long tent, what they simply have are a whole bunch of like trucks and trailers and a bunch of jet skis. And so, to be fair, they have jet skis and then they have Sea-Doos. I know that there are different versions of like basically water jet craft. But man, I got to tell you, I like it from up here. So anyway, yeah. So I mean, I know that was sort of a long answer, as all of mine are. But please, Mikes@thespot.fm. Feel free to send me an email on what you think what I should do that would add value to you that you would actually pay for. But you know, I mean, if enough of you are like, oh my God, if you don't turn on the membership thing, then we're gone. But I just think it's a lot easier to watch me for free, isn't it? I don't know. But then again, you know, if you give something for free, that's the value it has. And I would hopefully like to think that there is some value to this. I don't know if there's monetary value, but I think that there's some value in your time just to pay for the overheads. They all add up. Or a food meetup, both good. I like the whole food meetup thing. I got to tell you, that was really fun when we did that with the spot, when we did it here at 1669. It was about 8,000 baht. And I think we had really good food. I was disappointed with the people that showed up only because they didn't want to engage. It was very weird. I mean, I understand that they're, you know, like getting bodies in the room. I guess that's kind of important for the photo or whatever. But I was just like, well, why are you here? You know, I would like introduce myself. Hey, guys, how you doing? And some of them wouldn't want to talk to me at all. And I'm like, okay, well, whatever. I mean, I'm not going to kick you out. I'm not a jerk like you are. But it was very interesting because a couple of these guys had YouTube channels that had like 20, 30, 40,000, 45,000 subs. Now, Lucas was there. I adore Lucas. He's freaking spectacular. He is such a supporter of like many things that a lot of people do. You know, not the least of which is the spot. And, you know, he did a great video on interviewing basically us at the studio and at the transmitter. He and I spent some time hanging out, and so I love that. But there were some other guys that I was just like, oh man, like, just so you know, like the table you're sitting at, you'll note that it doesn't have the words "cool kids" on it. So why don't you just like kind of go away? It was really, and that goes back to the whole expectations thing. I interface with people here that I'm just like, oh my God, I know why you came here, because no one liked you back home. You had no friends there. It's just like, ugh, I don't want to hang out with you. Start a membership because they are getting pay and keeping all the money. Really? Well, does it work the same way? Like, I mean, if it's a membership, right, then it's obviously a YouTube member, and I assume that all the money that goes in, it's still one of those deals where they keep 30%. I mean, that's cool. Again, I don't mind paying YouTube for what they provide. It's not like I've gone off the air yet because of them. They say black is better, and it's a physiological thing for viewers. I know, right? I could be bigger using this. If I'm using this lame white microphone, what am I thinking? Did you look at that laptop I sent you? Short answer is yes, I looked at it, and then I moved on to my next task because I was like, okay, that's interesting. I should definitely do that. At the end of the day, I need to spend, it looks like what, about $1,000. You know, to get something. You listen all the time. Thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. The Spot and BKK.FM. Yeah, I know you've mentioned that, dude. I really appreciate that because I know you like go for walks and stuff and listen to both. So that's really cool. There is entertainment value. Yeah, well, I hope so, right? And so, I mean, honestly, here's what I would prefer. I would just prefer that when you guys get over here and we go hang out, that just literally the infamous buy me a coffee. And I believe, actually, do I still have the domain buymeasmoothie.com? Because that redirects to a smoothie.com. I can't remember whether I let that buy me a smoothie. Oh no, I didn't renew it. But it's not. It's still available, so I suppose I could buy it again for another $11. But It's a broken Farang thing. Yeah, I know. I'm totally broken, right? Well, thank you. Look, Logan, thank you, dude. I really appreciate it. I value you too, man. Logan and I had some great conversations, and he's got a really cool motorcycle too. So it's like, hey, you know, I can like hang out with him. And speaking of $5 via Skadoosh, how you doing there, Christy? Good to see you. Hello, California. I'm guessing it is about, let's see, 5:48 p.m. West Coast, and therefore 8:48 p.m. East Coast. So Joe is not in any way going to be going to sleep anytime soon. So merry ho-ho. Indeed, very ho-ho. Gobble gobble, actually. I forgot to wish you Thanksgiving, so I missed you on that one. So a little bit before 9 here, and 12 of you watching on various platforms. Thank you so much. A very big chest pump, my boobed friend. Thank you so much, Christy. Hope you're well. I can't remember where you landed after you left eConcept, but hopefully California is treating you well. I know it's ridiculously overpriced, potentially where you are. And a big hi, Christy, from Joe. One of the other things that someone recommended to me is to stream on Instagram. I have radio friends from back in San Diego, and one of them who's a really, really cool lady. Her name is Laura Kane, and yes, of course, all of the jokes with the last name of Kane definitely came in. Like, oh, do you have friends like Co and Nova? It's like, yes, my middle name is Co. Laura Co Kane, yes. And so anyway, so she's great. So Laura Kane out of San Diego, and this is so lame. I was going to talk about this, and I knew that I would totally forget the name. Laura Kane After Dark. Laura Kane After Dark is her podcast name, and I think it's like a website, laurakaneafterdark.com or whatever. But anyway, my point to bringing her up is that a lot of my radio friends are doing podcasts and doing this, right? And so they're live. They're not necessarily live streaming, but they're recording it and then they're publishing it. But she live streams, actually, on, I believe, YouTube and, interestingly enough, Instagram. Which I find interesting because, of course, you know, the aspect ratio is significantly different of YouTube versus Instagram. But that's one of the things that my friends are doing. And this platform that I use, they now have the thing where you can basically go next, finish, and effectively start streaming on Instagram. So Chris and I may do that. And but I do want to. I'm glad you're doing awesome. That's great. That should be your default setting, darling. So I'm glad it is. It was a strong about almost Canadian. A boot? Did I double click on that? Every now and then. Also, when I get really excited, I start talking like I'm from Boston and everything is like wicked pissa. Oh my God, Bobby. You can't park there, Bobby, but if you tell you what, oh, this is pissa. Great news. Less than 1 week until I'm back in Thailand. All right, Richard. Well, there you go. I tell you what, you get with Kazi and you get some cash and you bring it over here and then we'll have a smoothie with LC. Streaming on Instagram is a pain, not well implemented. Tried with Chris Parker a month ago, and it was painful. It is disappointing because of the whole thing, right? I mean, I think it's one of those deals where here's what I'm going to do. I have streamed on Instagram back like during COVID when I was doing those, 3, 4, however many 12-hour-long live streams. And one of my friends, Missy, my next door neighbor when growing up, she lives in Oregon, Portland area, and she would watch me on Instagram. And I think she was the only person that actually would do. But it was just one of those deals where it's a platform she used. So I would come up and she would just she said she would just play and then just sit it there on the counter during her making dinner for her family. And so that's an option. I mean, again, at the end of the day, it's really sort of the audio, right? Because I never freaking stop talking. So it's not like you're getting a whole lot out of the video. I mean, at the end of the day, this could be a still right now, but I swear to you, it is actually a 720p camera. But yeah, I agree. I did some tests with it the other day. But here's what I want to talk about for the remaining 8 minutes that I'm going to be streaming. How's that? I'm going to talk about something that Chris and I are doing on New Year's Eve. So wherever you are on New Year's Eve day, right, the 31st, unless you're basically here in Thailand or east of us, then in the morning on the 31st, when you wake up, you can expect Chris and I to start streaming. Chris and I are going to start streaming and celebrate New Year's Eve in every single time zone, starting with what I believe is basically the first time zone to go into January 1st, which is at UTC plus 11. And the major city there is Auckland, New Zealand. So a lot of you guys, of course, have heard of New Zealand. I hope all of you have. But you may or may not be able to pick out Auckland on the map. And I wasn't actually aware that it was that far east, although I do remember it from when Chris and I did our marathon live stream a couple of years ago at New Year's Eve. Now, Chris mentioned the fact that like there will actually be a lot of guys watching because some of them like they're not with their partner or they're alone or they're just not in the mood to go out at midnight. And at midnight they'll actually be home. Maybe they'll go out for like 9 or 10 p.m. And then like I was talking to Mariano the other night. It's like, yep, dude, my goal. Oh man, I can't wait for New Year's Eve. I'm gonna be in bed by 9:30. How you doing? And I'm like, I get it, man. We said that last year, Gracie and I were in bed at like 9:30, 10 o'clock. And, I think we heard some fireworks. There was always this nonsense, right, about sort of the tail end of COVID, whether there's going to be, whether there's going to be fireworks or not. But I think last year they actually had fireworks. As I believe that Thailand is basically back to normal. We're not back to normal high season rates, but anyway, what does this say? Man, Mike, I have a man on the studio issue. Thank you very much. Meaning you have a person that is trying to find me a studio. Thank you very much. That's fantastic. But yeah, if you guys are in the mood for some shizzles and giggles, then definitely stop by because Chris and I are going to be going. So let's see. So for the sake of argument, what that will be is basically we will start just before midnight, UTC plus 11. So just before midnight on. Just before, we'll probably start like about 11:30 p.m. in Auckland, New Zealand. So when would that be? That'll be 11:30 a.m. East Coast time or 8:30 a.m. West Coast time, and it will be probably about 11, 12, I think it'll be about 2 p.m. in the UK, and then it will be 7 p.m. actually, as it turns out. Let's see. Hold on. Wait. Is that right? No, it'll be 8 p.m. Anyway, it'll be in the evening here on the 31st, Bangkok time. But with Chris, he's going to be celebrating from where he is in Australia about 2 hours after we get into the broadcast. I'll be about 4 to 5 hours in, and then we'll start celebrating, again, every time zone at midnight. And he and I are going to get together here in the next probably about a week or so from now. We've been briefly talking about the technology that we're going to use to do that because I do want to somehow get some degree of like video, some degree of presentation of the local time zone that we're basically celebrating. So it's interesting. So it's interesting that you should say that. And NZ is plus 13 hours because I looked at the various time zones and what I can glean that is there. First of all, there's some overlap. So I've seen like. UTC plus 12, UTC plus 13, UTC plus 14, but I've also seen UTC like minus 11, which I believe is the last time zone that we're going to celebrate. And then, of course, you hop over in the international date line, which then I believe is what makes it plus 13. But regardless, absolutely, Janice. Oh, my God. Thank you for watching, sweetheart. Does Santa go to Thailand? Santa is in Thailand every time because it's very easy to find a fat old white guy with gray hair that young girls sit on their lap. That's very common here in Thailand. And so therefore I would say that Santa's here pretty often, as it turns out. But yeah, we do need to figure that out because, no, we don't need to figure that out. Regardless of the time zone that it is, Chris and I think we're going to agree. We're going to start the broadcast basically about 11:30 p.m. Auckland time in New Zealand. And then we'll celebrate after 30 minutes. We'll celebrate their New Year's Eve. And then we'll basically just go each one. Now, there's a high likelihood that we're going to friggin' pass out and we're not going to be able to do it. And I know that that's going to be disappointing because that's probably going to be about the time that they're celebrating New Year's Eve, like in London. So anyone who watches this from the UK, and I know, for example, Dennis, right, who watches this, I believe, from Ireland, basically all of my relatives in Scotland, I don't really know them, of course, but other people that have the Somerville last name, they're not going to get us live, but I think we're going to be able to do it because at the end of the day, actually both of us are going to be just with each other. So Gracie and Urice will actually be in Singapore, so that'll be interesting. I don't know if they're going to stay up till midnight. I'm sure Urice will want to, but I don't know if that's going to happen. But they should definitely do that because the fireworks in Singapore just every night are good, and so New Year's Eve I'm sure they're going to be totally awesome. But yeah, so I want you guys to hopefully remember that. Again, like I said, tomorrow starting at 7:30 a.m. Thailand time, I'm going to do another premiere, and then immediately following that, I'm going to do a live stream, and then I'm going to hop in the car and go back up to Bangkok and get ready to pick up Gracie and Urice at the airport. So we'll have to look it up again. Yeah, but I mean, regardless, that's when we're going to start because I figure that's, kind of a good time to do it. and it's basically evening for me, same little bit later. I think Chris is 3 hours ahead of me. So that'll be kind of fun. We're going to do that to the best of our ability, and in fact, we may even just like leave the stream on and maybe take naps and allow some of you guys to go live, because obviously we can project multiple screens up on here and share it with other people. So pardon me. You'll be spending New Year's Eve with 8 people, 6 of my grandkids, and Mike and Chris. Thank you so much, Joe. I'm really excited about it. Man, you're going to be able to watch a long time. That's going to be, because we're going to, I mean, let's face it, right? We're going to start broadcasting basically about 7:30 a.m. on the 31st, Florida time. So that'll be cool. Because as you guys know, Chris and I, we're basically from the future. So we know what's going on. Oh, I have a gray beard. I bet you do, you little minx. Oh, I've been a bad boy. Enjoy the time, Joe. Yeah, that's going to be neat, dude. Whole family around for the... Do you guys, like, totally stay up till midnight? And you just, like, ring it in, or do you do 3, 2, 1, and then... Yeah, that's kind of cool. We can totally do it. Yeah, I don't know. I may not be as... well, you're more of a night owl, dude. I'm like 4:30 in the morning. Of course I'm going to get up. The sun's almost up. I got to get ready. If I wait till the sun comes up to get up, I've wasted time. I've missed something. May feed my... Come from... What? Dude, how inappropriate was that? Wow, that's, I don't know what you exactly meant by that, but yeah, okay, 3 hours ahead, so that's kind of cool. And 2 snowballs, attaboy. You bang those up against your chin early on? Oh my Buddha. Well, guess what, guys? It is 9 a.m. here in Thailand, in the mighty land of smiles, and with that, I want to thank you guys so much for coming by. I hope you liked the premiere. I hope you liked the constant little picture in the background that was not me or my blurry bed, and was the jet ski competition. And then we're going to have to, absolutely, yeah, we're going to do some Coke. Okay, well, we got to be careful on Coke Zero, Chris, because I know that you gave that up. You gave that up for Lent. So I don't know if I want to get you back on the sauce or whatever. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you like the premiere. Again, tomorrow, 7:30 Bangkok time. We'll do another premiere, and then we'll do another live stream immediately following that. And with Mike... With that, it is Mike's, rather, from livemyassoff.com, from the spot.fm, from bkk.fm, and very soon from bangkok.fm. So mark your calendars for that, because that's going to be the ultimately new, awesome, way cool dance station that is coming to Thailand and is going to be broadcast everywhere, not the least of which is Pattaya.fm, Samui.fm, Phuket.fm, and Chiang Mai.fm. So tell your friends, tell your future ex-wife, and tell a whole bunch of people that you actually really like and want to be part of the Cool Kids table, that we're going to do it all over again. And with that, it's Mike's. I hope you guys are living the dream, because if you're not living the dream, say it with me, you're doing it wrong. Talk to you soon.